मन दी एकाग्रता वास्ते थोड़ा कड़ियां ने सारे जने नाल मिल के थोड़े सिमरन करिए। वाहिगुरु 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 जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी। तेरे कवन कवन गुण कह कह गावा तू साहिब गुरी निधाना तुमरी महिमा बर न साको तू ठाकुर ऊंच भगवाना तुमरी महिमा बर न साको तू ठाकुर ऊंच भगवाना। The Sikhing Inspiration class is this is the last one of the year, and at the end of the year, everyone thinks of as a time for reflection. I was talking to my this Jewish person I work with, and he said to me that at the end of their year, and then other religions as well, they look at their lives and they look at what they can improve in their lives, and New Year's resolutions and all that kind of thing. And he was saying that they have a special thing in the Jewish religion where they look at their lives and try to look at things that they can improve in their lives. So I thought to myself that I phoned up Bhai Sahib about a month ago, or about 5-6 weeks ago, and I said to him that what better thing that can we focus on the last thing before at the end of the year, before the new year, is than Amrit. Because some of you are at different stages, we're all at different stages in our Sikhi. Some of you are getting ready for Amrit, some of you are preparing for partners, some of you haven't thought about Amrit before. But what I want to try to do today is, there's quite a lot of slides. It's taken me quite a long time to make this talk, quite a few weeks. I'm thinking what to include and what should I not include in it. And I've used things that I've learned from other people. I've been to, when I went to India as well, I picked up some stuff from there that I've included in this talk as well. And I'll go into it. But I called it Stepping Onto Guru's Path. जो तो प्रेम खिलन का चाओ सिर तर तरी गरी बरियाओ इत मार्ग पैर त्रीजे सिर दीजे कान न कीजे इत मार्ग पैर त्रीजे stepping on the Guru's path sir dije giving your head, that's the key. Kaan na kije, don't care about what anyone others trying to please others. And more often than not, that's some of the things that are holding us back, because we're trying to please others. So I thought, where should I start this talk? How should I start it? I thought I'll start it here. When Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he met the Siddhs, those of you that read the Siddh Gosht Bani, those of you that read that Bani, you would have read this Band in it. Kit bed jag upja porka, kit dok beres jai. Where the Sikhs, those of you that don't know, the Sikhs, they were holy Hindu people, spiritual people, and they met, Guru Nanak Dev Ji met them, and they had a conversation. That Gosht means conversation with the Siddh Gosht. And there's all different questions that were asked. And one of the questions here were asked is, how, in what way was the world formed? It says, oh man, and what disaster will end it? Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, how with jag upajay purkha, naam visra dukhpai. Naam visra dukhpai. Guru Nanak Dev Ji talked to them about why the world was created, that we had this desire that we wanted to be separate from Akal Purkh. So Akal Purkh has made this whole srishti, this whole world, so we can try to get ourselves back. It's a kirya, it's a game. But in this game, just like it says, Hong Ko Sai Ka Pehlewanada, Main Gur Mil Uchit Malada, Sab Hoi Shinja Kathiya, they betha veke aap jiyo. When I went to India, there was a chinj. Chinj is like a wrestling match. And Guru Sahib says that this world is like a wrestling match, where we are here and we're fighting the Panch Jod. We're fighting the Panch Jod and we're trying to purify ourselves. And Guru Sahib says that when we forget Naam, when we forget Simran, that's when we forget to do Simran, we forget Vaheguru, that's when we face Dukh. Naam visriya dukhpai. So Guru Sahib right from the outset explained the emphasis, or made us aware of the emphasis of Naam. Right from Guru Nanak Dev Ji talked about this is the key to happiness, this is the key that you need to, just like the Bhai Sahib was saying here about Naam, the importance of doing Simran, and how many of us, when we do Ardas to Guru Sahib, do we ask for Naam Didat? How many of us ask that we can have Gursikhi? More people ask for dunyavi things. So, I want to take you back a little bit to 1699. When I went to Bhai Sahib Singh Trust, which is not far from Harmandir Sahib, I met this Gursikh there called Bapu Jassa Singh, and we sat down and he talked to me a bit about lots of different things to do with Gursikhi, but this is one of the things that he focused on. He talked about Anandpur Sahib, 1699, and he showed me this article. Some of you may have read something similar. I've made a few notes on my phone because I just wanted to explain it in full detail rather than try to remember it off the top of my head. So 1699, there's a lot of misconceptions. Some people say that Guru Sahib got goats and cut the heads of goats and that kind of thing. Some people said that there was a tent, some people said there wasn't a tent. So at that time, there was a spy of Aurangzeb. His name was Abu ul Tarifi. And he was a spy, but he was dressed as a Gursikh. He had the full case, he had the star and everything. He's dressed as a Gursikh. But he was a spy, and obviously Guru Sahib knew that he was a spy. Now, he was a spy for Aurangzeb, because Aurangzeb wanted to see what's happening in the Sikhs, what are the Sikhs doing. And so he kept a daily journal. And this is actually, Bhai Sahib in his book wrote about this as well. He mentioned his name. And this is an actual account that he gave of what happened in 1699. Because the thing is, the problem is that our youngsters, they go to school and the books that you read, they say that Guru Sahib took a cut off goats' heads, or they didn't really cut off persons' heads and all that kind of thing. This is the individual's actual accounts. He said that there were about 50 to 70,000 people that came, first of all, to Anandpur Sahib when Guru Sahib asked the Sevadars to round people up and bring them to Anandpur Sahib. Guru Sahib came out, opened his sword, and straight away asked who's willing to give up their head. I want to cut somebody's head off. Bhai Singh came up to the first call, the first call Guru Sahib made, he went up. You know, some people like to dramatize it, that everyone was in shock. Then Guru had to call again, and everyone was still in shock, and then finally it wasn't like that. This person's account, he says that someone stood up straight. And every time Guru Sahib made a call, they stood up straight. It wasn't that they had to wait 2-3 times. So when they stood up and went to the stage where Guru Sahib was, Guru Sahib with one hit, he chopped his head off. Chopped his head off with one hit. Then Guru Sahib asked for another head. And then Bhai Singh got up and each of the 5, he chopped their heads off in front of the Sangha. Okay? So everyone actually saw people being having their heads chopped off. So it was obviously a shock for them. Then what happened was that, as the person reports, he says that Guru Sahib then cleaned the bodies of the 5. He cleaned them, washed the bodies of the 5. He washed their heads and washed their bodies and everything, and he washed the floor. Since this took quite a bit of time when Guru Sahib was cleaning. And then from there, Guru Sahib started to stitch the heads back onto the bodies. But he didn't stitch Bhai Dayal Singh's body, head to his body. He said he stitched Bhai Dayal Singh's head to one of the other Panj's bodies. So it was one person's head and a different person's body. Okay? That's what he made clear. And this procedure he said it took 3 hours. Guru Sahib then covered their bodies with white sheets. He covered their bodies with white sheets. And it says here that the Kafir Guru, he then got this big iron bowl. He got this big iron bowl and he put some water in it. And everyone was obviously, no one had seen Amrit Sajjad. No one knew what was going on. No one knew what Guru Sahib was doing. And he said that he started reading his kalma. He started reading his part. So he didn't know what part he was doing. He started reading some part or something. And he had this double-edged sword that he was using to put it in and out of the water. And he said that a woman from the Guru's house, he didn't specify who, he said a woman from the Guru's house came and put something in the water. Obviously we know that was potassium. And he said that this process, when Guru Sahib was doing this thing with this bhatta, it took him 1.5 to 2 hours. And he was doing different parts when he was doing it. And then from there, what he did was, he gave the water to one of the Panj, Bhai Dayal Singh. He put the water in his mouth, and then he put the water in his head over here, on the top of it, on his dasam dwar, and then he sprinkled some on his eyes. And then he said to him, Bol Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. And Bhai Dayal Singh stood up. He stood up there, and obviously everyone was shocked. He stood up and he said, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Guru Sahib repeated this with all the 5, and then Guru Sahib repeated this with all the 5, and that's where the tent came in. Because then they went into the tent, and they got them dressed in bara. So they dressed them all in bara in the tent, and then they came out, and then it was unprecedented what happened then. Guru Sahib then went into Birasana, where you put one knee down. You know, so those of you that take an Amrit, then you sit in Birasana. He was basically on one knee. Guru Sahib was on one knee, and he put his hands together, and he said to the Panj, he said, now you give me Amrit. You give me Amrit. And they was a bit shocked, said, you're the Amrit Data, you're the giver of Amrit. How can we give you Amrit? And they said, no, give me Amrit, I want Amrit. And they asked him, it specifically states, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to sacrifice? If you want us to give you Amrit, what are you willing to sacrifice? He said, I'm willing to sacrifice my whole family. Guru Sahib gave that jawab. He said he's willing to sacrifice his own family. And then Guru Sahib received Amrit there as well. And this is the person that's actually written this Muslim spy. He said that I was very remorseful and cried like a baby after he saw that. He's very, very remorseful. At that time, he said that thousands of people took Amrit after that. He said, I was also attracted to Guru, and I fell at the Guru's feet in regret. This Muslim man, he fell at the Guru's feet. I requested the Guru to give me Amrit. He said, I wanted Amrit. I requested the Guru to give me Amrit. And Guruji already knew my role. He says that Guru already knew I was a spy and I was a traitor. But Guru put his hand on my back and he says, I'm Mashakal. And then Guru Sahib he says that Guru Sahib put his hand on my back, gave me Amrit and changed my name to Ajmer Singh. And that person, Ajmer Singh, he was the first Muslim, and then Guru Sahib named him that. And in that act, Guru Sahib washed away thousands of lifetimes of sin. So, the key facts that we can take from this, because it's important that, first of all, any basis we talk about Amrit, we need to talk about the original Amrit and Char, Kiki, what happened, and we need to be a bit clarified with a reputable source. So Guru Nanak made one call and not three. Guru Sahib actually chopped the heads off of the Panj in front of the Sangat. This is key when it comes to the actual Amrit and Char that happens today, and brought them back to life. Because if you think about it, if Guru Sahib chopped off heads of goats, then one, that's not even in Sikhi Siddhant. And the second thing is that Guru Sahib hasn't got faith, then it's like almost saying that Guru's not got faith in his ability to bring people back to life. It doesn't make any sense, that concept. Fair enough, an onlooker can look at it. Bear in mind, there was a lot of like Christians and Muslims and people of other religions there in that congregation as well. So they probably obviously didn't want to do such positive reporting, because they were missionaries, most of them. They didn't want to do such positive reporting about what happened. The tent was only used to dress the Panj in the Bana. That was the only purpose of the tent. And Guru Sahib took Amrit themselves, very key. It's very important. Some people say, Amrit ka shamana ki loria. I'm alright. There's no point. But Guru Sahib gave us that very powerful message that we all need to take Amrit. Okay, and I'm going to go into that in a moment as well. Many thousands of people took Amrit, including Aurangzeb's spy, and Guru Sahib later gave us the Rat as a Guru Sikh, if we're going to call ourselves Sikhs, the first Rat that a Guru Sikh keeps is Khande ki bol shake. Tiyari karo and Amar shako. And Guru Sahib says, Rat bina nahi Sikh kaha hai. Jaisi Rat nahi rakhde, that we shouldn't call ourselves Sikhs. We haven't got the conduct of a Sikh, then we shouldn't call ourselves Sikhs. And the first Rat, Guru Sahib says, Khande ki bol shake. I remember when I was first come Sikhi, I used to be a bit thinking that, because I used to be exposed to this kind of stuff, like, these Ratnam, and I ended up just saying to people that, I'm aspiring to become a Sikh. I'm not a full Sikh here. I'm aspiring to become one. I want to become one. And I think that's the mentality that, I think that's the mentality you have to have. Because then we actually show that we actually are going to achieve something. It's not that, I'm already a Sikh, but then I'll take Amrit. Doesn't work like that. So I've got quite a lot of stuff to cover. So I'll go about it quite quickly. As a Shabd, Guru Arjan Dev Ji says a Shabd, Mere Pritama Ho Jiva Naam Te Aaye. And this Shabd talks a lot about Amrit, and talks about a lot about Naam. The talk will gradually go off towards Naam, and then come back a little bit towards the end. Naam mila mantra patiya, bin naam trik jivaas. Now Naam kitho milda, in this Shabd they'll talk about it as well. That receiving Naam, my mind becomes satisfied. And without Naam, my life is cursed. It's not just Naam japana, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. I'm going to talk to you about that in a moment, because it comes up in the Shabd. Koi Gurmukh sajjan je mila, main dasse pragurdas. If I meet the Gurmukh, he will show me God. And Guru Sahib's talking here about the Guru in terms of the Gurmukh. I sacrifice that person to sacrifice myself to that person who reveals Naam to me. And obviously only the Guru can reveal Naam. Mere Pritama ho Jiva Naam te aaye, bin naave Jivan nathiye, mere Sadguru Naam drai. Bin naave Jivan nathiye. Without Naam, my Jivan ma kuch nahi hai. It's useless, worthless. Naam to bina. Mere Sadguru Naam drai. The Guru has planted Naam within me. The Naam, it says Naam amolak ratan hai, pure Sadguru paas. Naam kiya. Naam is, the Guru's got Naam. The Guru's the giver of Naam. Satguru Seva Lagya Kadvatan Deva Pargas. So Guru Sahib says that Guru Sahib's got Naam. Guru Sahib's the one that gives us Naam, because all his Naam Didate. And if we do seva, I don't mean just like doing like bande manjane and that kind of thing. I mean proper like living in accordance with Gursikhi, trying to keep red, naam japana, vani padni, these kind of things. These kind of things will make Guru Sahib happy, and they say that this person is worth, they're worth Amrit. They're worthy of Amrit. That refers to the people that come, Abalakis, people that come to take Amrit. They're all Vadapagi, Guru Sahib says. Very, very, very blessed and very, very fortunate. Those people that come to meet Guru and they come to take Amrit. They're both Vadapagi. And then Guru Sahib talks about, what about those people that don't go to meet the Guru? Guru says, clarifies here. And there's not some other shabs who talk about this in a similar way as well. Those people that don't come to meet the Guru, don't walk on Guru's path. They're very bad, they're very without unlucky people. And this might sound a bit sort of shocking and harsh to some of you, that they wander around in reincarnation over and over, the most disgusting maggots in manure. You know, if you have a look at the Jurasi Lakajur, I'll sometimes watch a bit of wild animal programs, and in the animal programs, you have a look at all these different animals, insects and that kind of thing, that live in all this gandagi and stuff. And this is going to be our jewels as well. A lot of our jewels, if we're not going to follow Guru's path, this was inevitably where it's going to lead us. Don't try, Guru Sahib gives us a bit of advice here, that try not to hang around with those people that got a lot of anger in them, because that can have a very negative impact on you as well. So here it talks a little bit about the Amrit and Jal itself. So very, very Vadapagi people that come to take Amrit. Very, very fortunate people. All the Janama Mal, all the mal from previous sins, and Nirmal Naam Dardai, Guru implants that pure name within them. And Jannana Gautam Padapaya Sadguru Ki Levalai. And then Guru Arjan Dev Ji talks about how the Gursikh reaches that level where they become focused on Vaheguru. They become focused on Vaheguru. Some Gursikh here were, and us were lucky to go to Ransavai yesterday. And if you have a look around at Ransavai, you can see you can see that they're really focused in the Simran and really focused in the Kirtan. Bade Guru na jure. And that's what Guru Sahib is talking about here. They get that really high path. They get that really high path where they become attuned to Vaheguru. And their whole life they live in that connection. So let's look at the importance of receiving Naam and receiving Amrit. Those of you that go to Harmandir Sahib, you've probably seen Santokhsar as well. Santokhsar is a river, is a pool, let's say. And if you read there's a plaque written there and talks about what the history of Santokhsar is. Guru Arjan Dev Ji and his Gursikh, they were digging to try to build a pool, just like they got at Harmandir Sahib. They were digging. And they found that, you see how this picture sort of depicts it, they found this old yogi in there. And he was there, and he'd been in meditation for a long time. This is written in Sikh history. And he'd been in, firstly they found this kind of vessel. They found this big sort of round thing, and they broke it, and they said to Guru Sahib that we found this thing, and Guru Sahib says break it. And inside there was this man sitting in there in meditation. There's a man sitting there in meditation. And the Guru Sahib said wake him up. So they said, when I was reading about it, it said that they massaged him and they woke him up. And then all he asked him is, has Guru Nanak Dev Ji come to this world yet? Has Guru Nanak Dev Ji come to this world? And they said, this is Guru Nanak Dev Ji in the fifth form, Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And he looked at Guru Arjan Dev Ji and he says, please give me Naam Di Dak. He said, I've been waiting here for ages. He said, I don't mean ages like, a few hours. I mean age, Galjog, Satjog. He says, I've been waiting here for ages for Guru Nanak Dev Ji to take birth. And they called that, and the Guru Sahib then whispered something in his ear, and then he died there. He died there. He said, I've been waiting at the gates of Sachkhand to try and get in, but I can't get in without Naam. And that's all written if you go to Santokh, and that's why they named it Santokh, because of a yogi Santokh. So, could do bhakti, but without the Guru, then you're not going to get mukti, and without the Guru, you're not going to be able to get to Sachkhand, like this individual was waiting for. Now, I just want to show you this very quickly, briefly. This I was going to talk about Bhai Sahib Hira Bachchan Singh, which comes from Bhai Sahib Bharat Singh's book, Rangdare Sajjan. But this is not him, this is his son, Professor Surinder Singh. I couldn't find a picture of, Dr. Surinder Singh. I couldn't find a picture of Hira Bachchan Singh, so I just included his son, because he was a very, very highly spiritual Gursikh. Now what happened was, Bhai Sahib Hira Bachchan Singh, he wasn't very interested in Sikhi. He wasn't very interested in Sikhi at all. His father and his mother, they were very, very devoted. Very, very devoted. And they used to do a lot of seva, they used to do a lot of kirtan, they used to do a lot of part and everything, bhakti. And they always used to do ardas for their son. They used to do ardas that their son comes into Sikhi as well. But their son he used to mock them. He never used to wake up in the morning and do any prayers or anything. He used to say, what's the point of doing all this stuff? But they kept at it, they kept doing ardas. And one time there was a Rain Sabha happening. I can't remember where it was now, but it was the Rain Sabha happening somewhere in Punjab. And Hira Bachchan Singh was walking past, and something hit him when he was walking past. Emotionally, not actually physically hit him. And he just sat down where he was. He sat down on the floor and he was eyes closed and started, and he was just in some kind of different mindset. He was just sitting there with his eyes closed in the road. And some Gursikhs saw him. They saw him sitting in the road and they thought there's some kala happening here. And they picked him up and they took him inside the Rain Sabha and he sat there. He sat there through the Rain Sabha. And I was reading the actual book, and he sat there through the Rain Sabha, and then after the Rain Sabha, there was a Akhand Path started. He sat there through the whole Akhand Path, and then after the Akhand Path, there was Kirtan, and then he sat through that, and then he just eyes closed, and just sitting there. And then they got some Gursikh they saw, they said that we need to do Amrit Sanjan, we need to organise Amrit Sanjan for this person now. So they, just like literally while he was sitting there, so they got him up and everything, and they got him tiyari and everything, and they done the Amrit Sanjan, and it talks a little bit about what the qala that happened in the Amrit Sanjan as well. And then from there, he sat back down, and there was a kirtan going on as the Amrit Sanjan was happening, and he sat down in the kirtan again, and then it talks about in the book that how he, in the Sangat, he started to, his body became light as a feather, and he just, after receiving Amrit, he started to levitate and move towards Maharaj in a kind of, like a fish-like way. And then he done Dandot. Dandot is when you lie, some people might do Dandot. You lie down and do Mathatik. He done Dandot, but his whole body was off the ground, and it's just his head done Mathatik. And then the Kirtanis that was doing Kirtan at that time, they started doing Lawala part, because they said this person's getting married to Guru Sahib at this time. And the reason why I say that is Hira Bachchan Singh, he obviously is a very blessed person, and every time they used to have a kid, the kid used to die. Once they used to give it chula, give it a little bit Amrit and that, they used to die. Because Gursikh, when they take Amrit, when they have a kid, they take it to Amrit Sanjan and get it blessed from the Panch Pyare, and if you give it a little bit Amrit. Every time they used to take a kid there, the kid used to die straight after Amrit Sanjan. And they didn't used to understand why this is happening. So why is this happening that our kids keep dying after they die? And some Gursikh said to them that your your wife's giving birth to very, very, very blessed souls that all they come here for is just to receive Amrit. They just come here to receive Amrit. Once they receive Amrit, they just die like that. There's no other purpose for them to live. Okay? And so what they did, they thought they would test that out because they weren't sure. And then the next girl, they didn't take her before the bunch that they had. And after that, as she grew up a little bit older, I think at 13, 14, she decided to take Amrit herself, and then she died straight after the Amrit Sanjay. And then finally they gave birth to Dr. Singh, and he's a very, very highly spiritual Gursikh. And he was in Jatta for quite a few years. I think he passed away quite recently. You can read quite a bit about him on the internet and stuff. So, the purpose of saying that is about the importance of receiving Amrit and Naam. That some people just come to this world just to receive Amrit. There's a story recently, I remember, it was a few years ago now, there was Amrit Sanjay in Southall, and I got a text from one of the Singhs that was doing Panjabi Seva. He texted me on this Sunday morning after the Amrit Sanjay, and he said one of the BBs, when she received Amrit, on the way back home, she died. She died in a car crash. She got blessed with Amrit, and she died on the way back to her home in a car crash. And some of the older Singhs said that we knew that was going to happen. They said that we saw, when they were doing the Simran, that we saw some, let's say, spiritual beings that come from such kind, and they said that we've come to, there's a divine soul that's going to take Amrit, and when she's taken Amrit, we're going to take her back with us. And then they found out it was that baby, and that was only about 2-3 years ago. So, I just want to talk a little bit about this bank of Guru Sahib, and talk a little bit how it works. It's not like a NatWest or anything. So basically, obviously, with banks you have income and you have outgoings. Some people come into the bank, they put money in. Some people take money out, that kind of thing. But in Guru Sahib's bank, we open up our accounts with a deposit. Some of us have little deposit, some of us have big deposit. What that deposit is, that your previous kamai that you do before you take Amrit. Because some people, they do a lot of kamai, and when they take Amrit, they're like really got 100 miles an hour, and they achieve a lot of good things or high spirituality. Other people, they don't have much of a deposit, and they haven't done much bhakti beforehand, so they don't have a big deposit, so their bank account's sort of got a little bit less money. So our income into our bank of Guru Sahib is our Gurbani, Naam, and the Seva that we do. The Seva that we do, the Gurbani that we read, the Naam that we jap. That's the money going into Guru Sahib's going to our account in bank of Guru Sahib. And we've also got a deposit, how much we came in with our previous kamai. I'm going to talk to you about, this is for obviously for Amrit Bhai, I'm going to talk to you about it for non as well. Our bank has to have security guards, so we haven't got any big kali, unfortunately, so in fact, instead we have to have Raat and Sangat. The Raat that we keep, the conduct that we keep, stay away from Char Bajar Krat, and the Sangat that we keep, that's our bank security. That's the security that we have. Some people that struggle or fall away a little bit in their city is because of this. It's also because they're not crediting their bank account with much money, but also at the same time, they haven't got much security. So you need to have all these things. And the outgoings, so what's the outgoings? Guru Sahib says, "Is dehi andar panj chor vase, kaam krodh lobh mohankara, amrit lute man mukh nahi buje, koi na sune pukara." The other thing is that the panj chor are the ones that will take our money away. That's why when we do things, when we do actions that are linked to the panj chor, that's our money being taken out. That's all this money that we credited, our Gurbani, Naam and Seva, all these things. When we start doing these things, then our bank getting less and less money in our bank account. So this is how it works in terms of Guru Sahib, crediting Guru Sahib's bank account. So you've got some people that take an Amrit and then they start parading it about, I've taken Amrit, that's it, I'm better than everyone. But if you look at their account, they've got nothing in their account. Can you imagine somebody walking down the street and has got his bank book in his hand? Oh, look, I've got my bank book. And you have a look, it's only got like 30p in them. So obviously that's not very good. Got 30p in there, he's spreading it about. It's the same like person just taking Amrit, but they haven't even got no kamai in there. So this is how we're going to put a kamai into our bank account. And we can increase it from there. But obviously we have to be aware of the outgoings, all the money that's coming out, all the kamai that's being lost because of the band, and our security, we have to keep that. These are basic tips that you can use once you're taking an Amrit in terms of, or even before when you're terms of gaining your deposit, to open your Amrit or Naam account. So let's look at that, doing bhakti or doing kamai without Amrit. That person, there's many references to Gurdwara. So people that haven't taken Amrit and they're doing Path and they're doing Simran and they're doing Seva, these kind of things. Guru Sahib talks about in Gurdwara a few, I was going to say, that these persons basically they're gathering deposit. They're gathering a deposit for their account. But unless they put in their account, it's not going to be worth anything. So they're gathering a deposit. And you might think that's a bit harsh, but Gurdwara talks a bit about this. There's a shabd in yesterday's answer by as well. It said, "Kod lakh sarv ko raja, jis hirday naam tumhara, jago naam na diya mere sadgur se mar jamme gawara." Guru Sahib says that Kod lakh sarv ko raja, one who has your name in their heart, is the king of all hundreds of thousands of people. 100,000 millions of people. But Jako Naam na diya mere Sadguru. Those people that haven't gone to Sadguru and got Naam from Sadguru, say Mar Janme, die and reborn Gawara. They just Guru Sahib refers to them as Gawara, like idiots. The reason why is that, well, I'll talk to you about that why as well in a moment, is that the dunya, because of the dunya, that they've given up this they've wasted away their life just to keep people happy. That's I was reading Bart and then I came across this line that was really interesting. It says that if you try to make makhan, make butter out of barley, like you get water and you like sort of churning it, you're churning in water and you're trying to make butter out of it, it's not going to happen. Guru Sahib, if you think about, Guru Sahib's talking about that person who's not taken Amrit and they're trying to make makhan out of this barley. But when you receive that milk of Amrit, that's when you can churn it and then you can make makhan out of it. And so, for example, the barley is like Maya. They're trying to churn Maya and trying to make Maya into makhan, but they can't do that. And sometimes it comes in the Hukum Nama as well. Guru Sahib sometimes talk to us really, let's say, can talk to us in a bit of a way that we might think is a bit not very sweet. But just like a parent has to sometimes talk to their kids in a bit of an aggressive way, let's say, or but you know, you have to talk to your kids, something you have to shout at them. And Guru Sahib does that as well. That person's, Guru Sahib saying that the person who has got Naam in their heart, then their mothers shouldn't even have been able to give kids, have kids. Guru Sahib said that because they're once they come into this life and the key further on is nothing, just time pass, 4 din ala mila. Dunya dekh ke, get a bit of paise, lose a bit of paise, hasna khedna, and that's it. We go. So what's the point? What's the point of having Manu Janam for that? And I'm sure a lot of you will have heard the Bhai Sakhi, that Bhai Dallaji did a lot of seva for Guru Gobind Singh Ji, but he hadn't taken Amrit. Bhai Dallaji, he had a Fauj, he had an army that fought with Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and his army, they fought and some of his soldiers died and they fought with Guru Sahib in many battles. And Guru Sahib said to him after one of the battles, said that, Mandala Dallaji, I'm really happy with your seva, tu Mandala jo mangna, ask for whatever you want. And Bhai Dallaji asked for, I want a little bit of jaga, with you when I die. I just want to be in a little bit of jagah with you when I die. So I want to be in your charan when I die. And Guru Gobind Singh, he said to him that I can give you anything, worldly, you know, horses, all that kind of thing, anything, whatever you want, but I can't give you that until you take Amrit. And Bradford thought to himself that, hey, you know, I've done all this stuff, and my armies fought with you, many people have died, all that kind of thing. He said that, how come? What's the big deal about this Amrit? He goes, no, you have to take Amrit. If you want that, then you have to take Amrit for it. Remember, Guru placed the importance of Amrit when Guru Sahib took Amrit themselves, as I said at the beginning. So, by Dalla, he said, what's the big deal about this Amrit? So then, Guru Sahib thought, if you read about Sikh history, Guru Sahib didn't really used to tell things people straight. If you read Gurdwara is like that as well. It doesn't tell people straight, it gives people examples. If you tell a kid, oh, don't cross the road, don't go across the road unless you've got adult, that kid's going to think that, oh, why can't I do that? And then that kid might do it. It's more likely to do it. Because you've said that don't do it, because they think, oh, it might be quite exciting across the road. And then, so if the parent says that, don't cross the road because this is going to happen, or look, this happened to this other person, then that's how Guru Sahib samjhas. It's like a really good parent, like giving us explanation. And that's how Guru Sahib decided to explain to Dallaji. He said Guru Sahib being gifted a gun, and Guru Sahib said that out of your soldiers, I want to test my gun out. Who out of your soldiers is willing to become my target? And Bhai Dallaji was a bit shocked, and he asked his soldiers, who's willing to be a target, and no one put their hand up. And he goes, what about you, Dalia? Why don't you become my target? And he says, no, not me. No. And then Guru Sahib made a call that I've got this gun. He told Guru to tell other people that I've got this gun and I need a target for my gun because I want to see how the gun works. I want to test it on a person. And there's a call made, and there was a father and a son. They come running to Guru Sahib. They come running, and they were trying to push each other out of the way. One person, the father was pushing the son, and the son was pushing the father. That's how much they wanted to become Guru's nishani for the gun. And Guru Sahib says, yeah, this is Amrit. This is the power of Amrit. These people have already given they've given their head to Guru. They don't care. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a moment. So they've already given their head to Guru. So whatever Guru says, Jo Guru kahe soi pal mano. Whatever Guru says, whatever Guru does, they accept it as good. So that's doing Kamai without having Amrit, if you want to do sort of Bhagati, that kind of thing. Now, there's some obstacles that we all face on our path of Amrit. I was going to show you this video, but it was a bit short, but I won't show you that now. You probably can think of some others, but the physical change, this is a big thing for some people, the physical change. We become attached to how people see us. So we want to be like, we don't want to stand out. We don't want people to say, oh, what's that? What's happening there? I always tell this story that when my wife took Amrit, she took Amrit on a Saturday, and she went to work on Friday without a star or anything. And then on Monday, she went to work with the star on. And she got to work at 9 o'clock, and it took till 2 o'clock for somebody to realise. It took 5 hours for someone to realise that she had a star on her head. And that's a busy office she works in. So it's 5 hours it took for someone to realise. The thing is that we become obsessed that we're the centre of society, that the whole world revolves around us. We become obsessed, but when these kind of things happen, then we realise that it's not. The physical change, all I can say really is that who do we want to look good for? Do we want to look for good for the world, or do we want to look for Guru Sahib? Look for Guru Sahib. Because we know what Guru Sahib wants us to do. We know how Guru Sahib wants us to look. But Buzz, if you just want to just see that thing there, there's that black square. If you want to just press that play there. There's some people If you just click on the actual thing as well. That's it, that's it. So this is a video, it's not some shabd playing at the same time as well. But there's some people that have actually decided to take Guru's Roop as opposed to, this is the guy that made it, I don't know, he's put his own video, he's put his own picture on there. Yeah, so these are some people that they've come, let's say, back to Sikh. You've probably seen a lot of on the internet as well. A lot of people, how they used to look and how they look now. And Guru blesses them with their roop. There's just a few, some was quite shocking about how different people were. There's many, many examples on the internet. I don't think that was a year ago. I can't believe that was been in a year. So some of them is quite surprising about how they used to look before and how they look now. They accept the Guru's rule. If you look on YouTube as well, there's lots of videos like this on YouTube, and Manveer Singh's blog, there's lots of things like this, where people are coming back into Sikhi, and how they used to look, and then how they look now. So look, I got one more to show you. I wasn't going to put this in, but I thought some of you might recognise who this is. If you don't, then it's me, how I used to look. And this is me now. This is my daughter. And this is about 7 years ago? About 7, 8 years ago. About 6, 7 years ago, sorry. And then that was at a party, and I'm dancing there. I don't know, I've got some other people around me, don't want to go into that. But then, this is how I am now, obviously. So the physical change is something that we have to think, how much are we willing to sacrifice for Guru Sahib? You know, are we able to sacrifice the fact that we supposedly look good for society? If you have a look at them people, they didn't turn into monsters when they actually started keeping their gaze and wearing the star or that kind of thing. Okay, if you have a look, actually, people actually look a lot nicer, I find. So family is a key obstacle when you're taking Amrit, or it can be an obstacle. Sometimes it can be a positive thing, but sometimes families are a bit hesitant, oh, job, you're not going to get a job, you're not going to be successful if you've got the star in your head or whatever, that kind of thing, or how are you going to get married. They always come up with these same things like that. We have many youth that come to us and say that, I want to take Amrit, I want to start wearing the star or that kind of thing, but we can't because our families are a bit, they're kind of a bit against it. So family is an obstacle that we have to, remember, Gursikh are your family as well. Gursikh are, your Guru Sahib says that Sukhi Basai Moro Parivara, that my family be happy. And what family Guru Sahib talking about? Guru Sahib talking about the Gursikh family. So the Gursikh is your family as well. So you can always use the support of Gursikh as well. And work and society. Work and society. I'm going to give you an example about work and society. That people at work and people around you, they might say things or anything. To be honest, I've been kept my case now for about 5, 6 years, and no one's ever said anything to me about anything negative. I think that what it comes down to, if you're not very confident or you're not very comfortable with how you look, then people around you will see that. They'll see that. And if you're proud and you're happy, then they'll get from you is positivity. Okay? So if we're a bit not very confident about how we look already, how we look with the star and stuff like, I see some people like walking around college and that, and they've like first you got the star on, then they got a do-rag on, then they got a do-rag on, then they cut a haircut, and it's all because that what people are saying around them. They're all just too worried about people around them. But if you think about Gursikhi, Gore, if you read about Gore, Kale, all these people, they hear about Gursikhi, and the first thing they want to do is say, I want to look like Gursik. I don't care what anyone says, this is amazing. Even that, what's her name, J.K. Rowland, the one who wrote Harry Potter, she said that Sikhi is amazing. She said that I wanted to become a Sikh, but my husband thought it's not going to be good for your career. I even discussed the prospect of becoming a Sikh with my husband. And even I was talking to Bradford Singh, and he was saying to him, he's been teaching Sikhi to some of his students at school. And he was saying that quite a few of them go home to their parents and say that they want to become Sikhs. So they say that Sikhi is so amazing, Sikhi Saroop and everything about Sikhi is so amazing that we want to become Sikhs as well. So you can make your work and society around you have so much respect for you, but if we don't respect ourselves, then no one's going to respect us. Okay? And remember, Guru's always with you. That's the problem. It leads me to the next thing, lack of faith. I remember this Bhai Sahib was talking to me before that, some other Bhai Sahib was saying as well, that they want to have the knowledge before they take Amrit, or they want to have the knowledge before they keep their cases. Knowledge is not a big deal. Guru said, Pariya and Pariya Param Gatapave. Jo Prani Govinti Ave, Pariya and Pariya Param Gatapave. That Guru Sahib doesn't look about how educated you are, how much knowledge you have. Guru doesn't care. The Sikh is very, very simple, straightforward. Bani Bani, Naam Japana, Rat Rakhani, Seva Kani. These kind of basic things, you don't need to be very, very educated for these things. So don't worry about lack of knowledge. The lack of faith thing is obviously a bit concerning, but that will come. The more sangat that you do, with Gursikh, the more part that you do, similar that you do, that's going to have it has a huge impact on you. Some people say that they're worried about the routine of the Amrit Lotra and worried about the other routine that you have to keep and stuff. And it comes up with a red bit as well, keep a red. Some people get a bit worried about that. But the only way we're going to be able to overcome that is if we practice it. And we're only going to practice it if we really want Sikhi. If we really want Sikhi, then we're going to start practicing these things. We're going to start practicing waking up in the morning. I'll give you this example. I remember when I was first coming to Sikhi, it's a bit of a funny example. Whenever our Gursikh used to see me, I used to feel so much sharm that if I didn't have the star on my head, I just had to have the star on my head. But if they come to my house, I was Mona and I had cut dari and everything, but I don't know, I had something like, whenever Gursikh sees me, I don't want them to see me without the star on my head. I remember it's funny because I had to go to work, and I didn't go to work, I went to work obviously without the star. And some Gursikh stayed the night at my house, and the night before, I had the star on, and I thought, and he told me to wake him up in the morning, but I thought that, I don't want to wake him up because I don't want him to see me without the star on. So I didn't wake him up, and then I just left because I was going to work, and I was Mona then. And he knew I was Mona, he knew I didn't go to work with the star on, but I have felt that much sharm in me that I don't want to, that Gursikh to see me without the star on. If I find out Gursikh's coming to my house, I'll just put the star on. And that's how much it comes down to the routine thing. And the respect that you have for Gursikh as well. That was very, very important to me, that if I knew Gursikh was coming to my house now, I have to put the star on. And I have to, if I know that I don't want Gursikh to see me without the star on. I remember on my wedding, the day before my wedding, Gursikh came to my house to give chocolate or something, just the day before the wedding. And then I answered the door and I had a cap on, and I was so embarrassed. I couldn't even talk to them properly because I just felt that, oh my God, I haven't got the star on and stuff like that. So in terms of getting into a routine and having that respect for Gursikh, the routine will come also with Sangat as well. Okay? And our own efforts. We have to make effort. Remember, Sikh is a marathon. I'm going to talk about marathon in a moment. Sikh is a marathon. It's not something you can just go straight into and just like 100 miles an hour. You have to prepare yourself. And finally, some of us might have bad habits which we're worried that will stop us moving further on the path. I just like to say that there's a Muslim from Bradford that I was talking to about this bad habits thing, and he says to me, and he said at the camp as well, he said that you should just focus your life on doing positive things. Just try to do more positive. If you keep doing positive things, getting involved in seva, getting involved in this, getting involved in that, doing bad, having a routine, then all these bad habits, they'll fall away. They'll fall away. All these bad habits, they won't have much impact on you. Just coming towards the end now. So when are you ready for Amrit? I gave you the picture of a marathon there. Now this marathon, if you think these people are going running, they're not just going to start running a marathon just like that, okay? Because Sikh is a marathon. They're going to do training. They're going to train for quite a while. You know, I remember, what was it? I think it was the New York Marathon. Something happened in New York recently, and it was the marathon in New York got cancelled. And there's people come from all over the world to run in the New York Marathon. I think some people got killed or something. I can't remember what happened. No, it was the hurricane. There was a hurricane in New York. And they had to cancel the marathon. And then some people said that I've been training for 6 months or 7-8 months for this marathon, and I'm a bit not very happy that it's been cancelled and stuff. So in the Sikhi, we have to train ourselves. We have to train, and we have to be prepared to make sacrifices, and then we can be ready for it. I remember when I walked into Amrit Sanchar, when I took Amrit, they said that the Panj Pyare was saying, "Pehla man kabul jeevan ki shad aas ho sabna ki rehga ta aao hamare paas." They said that accept death, forget all your aspirations in life in terms of like, I want to have this big car, or this one I have a big house, all these kind of things. Don't worry about them, they're not important, Guru Sahib says that. Become the dust of everyone's feet and then come to me. That's what the Panj said. And in the olden days, they used to, few years ago, they used to make people sit through a khandabat before they before they would be considered for Amrit. Not just even they could take Amrit, before they could be considered for Amrit. People would have to sit through the khandabat 48 hours and listen to the bard, and then they would be eligible to be considered for Amrit. Now, I'll give you an example of a school trip, because I work in a college, and when we have a college trip and we don't charge the students much money for it. We don't charge them anything for it. So it's a free trip to, I don't know, Cadbury's World or something. Free trip to Cadbury's World. And then we find that there's a lot of people that don't turn up. But when we charge them a little bit for it, we say £5-6 you have to pay, just a contribution, then a lot more people turn up. The reason why is because they've actually made a sacrifice. They've actually said that we should go now, otherwise I'll lose my money. This way is a bit of a bad example, but in this way, the Amrit Sanchar is a bit important as well. Because if we haven't given anything, then we're not going to value what we receive. We haven't given, because I know some people, they got their red, they keep a red, or they keep certain red, and then after they take Amrit, they just live their same life as they were living before. So they haven't made that any kind of changes to their life since taking Amrit. So this is very important. And oh, friends, what's the nishani of meeting? What's the signs of meeting God? You give your mind and body to Vaheguru. You give your mind and body to the Guru, and Tajlaj Lokarni. Whatever, stop trying to do things to please other people. We're doing things to please other people, you know. then there's many references in Gurbani. Sir Dijay Kaan na kijay, give your head to the Guru, forget what other people are going to say. Because that's why the biggest obstacle that we have is that we just care about what other people will say. People are going to say this, people are going to say that, no one's going to talk to me, no one's going to be my friend. We got Guru. We got Guru, remember. We're prioritizing all these other things ahead of Guru. And one thing you'll realize, and you can mark my words with this 100%, because I see in my own life, once you got Guru, then you got everything. You don't need anything else. Everyone who's a friend to you is the best friend ever. Everyone who's a family to you is your best family you could ever have. Your house is the best house you could ever have. Your car is the best car you could ever have. Your job's the best job you could ever have. And that's my work, that's my guarantee. So, as long as we walk on Guru's path. I just want to, 2 more points, then I'll finish. Firstly, I went to a talk in Reading University, and there's a Bibi there. She said to me that when you do this talk, mention a few things to do with this. Don't get caught up in the moment. Some people take Amrit for the wrong reasons. So one thing Amrit for the wrong reasons. I listed a few down here. This is very important. If you fall in some of these categories, then you need to be a bit careful if you're thinking about Amrit. Some people say, oh, Amrit sounds cool. You know, this is particularly like when you go to in India, and you have the big Amrit jars with about 20,000 billion people taking Amrit, supposedly. And it lasts about 20 minutes. It lasts about the time it takes them to get to the local pub or something. So it sounds cool. I want to fit in with those around me. Okay? Because my friends are taking it. I feel forced to take it by my friends or my family. People respect me more if I've taken Amrit. I want to wear the 5K. Some people got the shock, I want to wear the 5K, I want everyone to see, I want to go to places and people see I've got Panch Kakara and they think, oh right, have you taken Amrit? No. So they don't want to have that, just look like a Sikh and actually they haven't taken Amrit. Honestly, these things have come from things that I've seen myself. In Amrit Jars, people say that, oh, and it's a bit sad, you know, nowadays. I've seen that outside Amrit Jars, yeah, when Amrit Jars, people actually say to me, oh, come on, take Amrit, oh, come on. You know, they're actually trying to force me to take Amrit. It's a bit sad. You know, like, if people understood what Amrit is and stuff, then they'll realize that, you don't go up to someone and say that, hey, have this diamond. They say, have this diamond, it's worth about billions and billions and billions of pounds that I can't even, it's priceless, have it. And then what idiot is going to say no? So, just be a bit careful about this. And just to end with, I want to talk about qualities of a good Sikh. Don't worry, don't get worried about a dog here, it's a nice dog. I'll talk about a dog in a minute. Qualities of a good Sikh. In Sri Asakiwa, it talks about, there's one of the Shakti that talk about Simal Rukh. A Simal tree is a tree. Simal Rukh Saraira Atatiraga Atamucha. Oije Ave Askar Jainira Sekita. Now this tree, I haven't seen this tree, but I've heard about it. If you type it on Google, I think you can see it. It's a really big tree, and it's got a really big root and the trunk, and it goes up quite high. It's really, really tall, and on that tree, it's got lots of fruits. It's got leaves. It's got that kind of thing. It's got lots, and it looks really nice as well. It looks really tall, really stands out. Symbol of it says that this is symbol of this tree is really tall and it's really big as well, really stands out. But birds, squirrels, animals, they come to this tree and they come with us, they come with hope that, you know, this is a big tree, it's probably going to have lots of things on it. I can eat things, I can I can get some stuff to make my house with it, you know. Those people that come to it, they leave away disappointed. They're disappointed when they leave. Why? Why do they leave disappointed for? They come to this tree, it's got all this fruit on it. In this tree, the fruits are really don't taste very nice. The flowers make you want to, they make you feel sick. Kamana aave but the leaves, they don't have any purpose. They're useless. Guru Sahib says in the next line, Mithat nivi nanaka gud changiya tat. Guru Sahib says that, who's Guru Sahib talking about this tree? Guru Sahib is talking about a person. That person, they're dressed like a Gursikh. They look like a Gursikh. I go up to them, I say, I want to talk to you about Naam. And they say, what the hell's Naam? Well, let's go party. I'll come to that person with hope that I want to learn from that person. And they say, Giant, I leave disappointed. I remember, one of my sister-in-law's son, he's a DJ. And he was DJing at this party, and there was this guy, I use the term Singh very, very loosely. This thing was at the party, and he went up to my relative, and he said to him that, and he started doing all these puttiyangalat, he was swearing, he was sort of talking bad about women and all these kind of things, saying all these things. We know this is a very bad guy, this person, I'm not going to mention his name. And he was saying all these bad things. And my relative, he thought that all Sikhs were like me in terms of I don't swear, all that kind of thing. I don't kind of say these kind of things. He thought they're like, so when he saw him, he thought that it would be a little bit more like me, how I act and stuff. He was a bit probably surprised to see him dancing at the party, But then when he saw him, he actually started seeing that this is how he acts. This is not good. So Guru Sahib says, Mithat nivi nanka, mitha bolana, speaking sweetly, nivi, humility. That tree is really big, isn't it? Stands out in front of all the other trees. Hankar. Yeah? Guru Sahib says you shouldn't be like that, you should be humble. Mitha, where's the mitha come from? The fruits. The fruits are not very sweet. The Gursikh should have sweetness. Good qualities, truthfully bolana. Being happy with what you have. You have a look at those people around you in the world and stuff, what they got. We're very, very lucky and compassionate and have respect and love for other Gursikh. There's a hukamnama by Guru Gobind Singh. He says, Singh so deho so karno, vair par mante parhano. That Gursikh should not have any bad feelings or anger towards other Gursikh. They should just have pyar for other Gursikh. So ne so karno, ne means love. They should have love for other Gursikh, and any other negativity they should take it out of their mind. Now, finally, just to end with, I was reading Gurdwara talks a lot about a dog in a very positive light. Kabir kukar ram ko muthia mero nao gale hamare jewri jay kincheta jao. Kabir ji said, I'm the Lord's dog. I'm the Lord's dog, and mera naam moti hai. And wherever I got Guru's jewelry, I got the jewelry, I got the chain around my neck, and wherever Guru takes me, I'll go there. And I was reading about dogs. I've got a bit of a soft spot for dogs. I haven't got one though. It's probably come from when I went to this Gursikh's house, and he said to me that he's got a dog, and they don't feed it meat or anything. They give it like veggie stuff, and they give it roti and that. And this dog, honestly, at Amrit, the dog's scratching about 3-4 o'clock. It's scratching on the door because he wants to be out. It comes in and he listens to Nithanim, and then that's how it starts his day. The dog listens to Nithanim. So I think they're sitting at home and that, sleeping like this dog. Honestly, he comes out, he sits there, and Gursikh's dog sits there and he listens to Nithanim when it's there. I think they put the tape, they have a special tape for the dog to do Nithanim. They put the tape on and the dog does Nithanim. And they do it obviously themselves somewhere else. And if you look at the qualities of a dog, dogs are very enthusiastic. They're not very negative. They're never negative. They're always happy and bouncy and bubbly, Dogs don't sleep all night, but they stay on guard for their master. Okay? They don't sleep all night like we do. They stay on guard for their master because they know what their Jumewari is. Their Jumewari is to protect the house. The dog never leaves their master, even if they're beaten, even if the dog gets beaten up or abandoned. Leave the dog here, leave the dog in the park. The dog will always come back to his master, always. The dog doesn't desire riches or nice palaces or even a comfortable place to sleep or live. People, they get so attached to I want to sleep in my own bed, or that kind of thing. If you have a look at, Gursikh and that. Gursikh will go, because they go all different places, do parchar and stuff. They go to all different places to do smargams. So they go sleep in different places. The same way a dog, they don't have desires to sleep in all these really nice places and stuff like that, or live in really nice houses. Dogs never hold a grudge. Their master can hit them, give them a lot of dukh and that, but still like hug them afterwards, and it's still like happy with them. Dogs are very obedient. They eat, sleep, wake, walk, stop when the master wants. Wherever the master says, they'll do that. Up, down. Even like, if you see these like airport programs like UK Border Force, they get the dogs and they check them for drugs, and they're very, very good like that. And when dogs are beaten, they lie on their back and whimper, and they extend their hand to say that there's still that friendship. They still want friendship. They still want to be your friend. Even though you're hitting them, even the dogs getting hit. Not that I'm speaking from personal experience here. Obviously, I don't beat up dogs, but the dog's always there to always still wants to be your friend. Honestly, if you see like some dog programs and stuff, not that I watched many of them, but dogs are very, 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 very loving to their masters and everything. And if they're trained properly, they do all these things. Okay, Gursikh that have dogs, they bring their dogs into Gursikhi and everything. Obviously, unfortunately, there's no dog Amrit in jars. But if there was, then we could try and get 5 dogs together. But in terms of dogs are very, very blessed in that way. They have all these positive qualities. And that's what I want to talk about. That's why Guru's mentioned, Swami ko grajo sada swanta jatane nit nanak e bid har pajo ek man ho ek chit. So just as the dog never leaves their master's home, in this way, with this level of patience and determination, to do your similar like that. And then just to end with, so the qualities of a Gursikh I mentioned there. And finally, Baba Deep Singh Ji, it was his Shahidi Purab recently. And Baba Deep Singh Ji at Gurdwara Nakira Sahib, he made a line, and there was 5,000 people that were going to Amritsar, and then most of them were probably going to end up getting killed. 5,000 people were going to Amritsar when Amritsar's the other view was happening there. Baba Deep Singh made this line, and it says that whoever wants to cross this line and give up their life for Sikhi, come with me now. And all the 5,000 people stepped forward. They're all prepared to give up their lives. So Guru Sahib, just in 1699, makes the call for a cease all the time there's a messenger. The next call is in 22nd December, which is next Saturday in Coventry, where Guru Sahib says that those people that want to give up their head for the Guru and to see out, get ready, get yourself ready, and come to take Amrit. Because Amrit began, what is life? Are we ready to die without Amrit? I remember the story, hopefully Bhai Sahib doesn't mind me sharing it, that there's a woman and a husband, they recently come into Sikhi, and they phoned up Bhai Sahib, they phoned up and said that, Bhai Sahib, when's the next messenger? And he didn't know that there wasn't one planned for a while, or I think it was this one. And they said, no, we can't wait. We want to take it now. But we don't know if we're going to live that long. We don't know. We never know. And we don't want to lose this opportunity. So they woke up, and Bhai Sahib rang the Panj Bihar for some of the Singhs that do Panjabi Seva, and then they arranged it for that following Saturday after or something, a week or after. And then those people to Amrit. And now they're very, very happy in their living as Amritais. But that's why you have to realize that Kabir Manas Janam Dalab Hai Hoina Bare Bar. You don't get this human life over and over again. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, we don't know what's going to happen. So we keep saying that, I'll do it later. Even Bhagat Kabir says that Kabir Kar Karanta I can't remember why it goes, but Bhagat Kabir just saying that whatever you're going to do tomorrow, do it today. And whatever you're going to do today, do it now. Because you don't know if you're going to live that long. So it's very, very important that whenever Guru Sahib makes the call that we should get ourselves prepared and get ourselves ready, and I've already told you about the things that we need to try to do in order to get ready for Amrit. So, as a New Year's thing, either we can start thinking about Amrit more, or we can start to change our routine to make it a bit more Gursikhi focused, and hopefully Guru Di Kirpa Naal Sadguru Seva lag gaya kar Ratna Deva Pargash, that Guru Sahib may bless us with Amrit as well. Bol Chukma Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Vaheguru Sahib Ji Ram